Okay guys, so I'm going to take a bit of a break from the rust at the moment. This is the floor we did last time, bit of paint over the top, no one's going to see it. I'm going to show you guys how to do a bit of insulation. Now this isn't insulation, this is just a bit of sound deadening. You can hear this, how lovely and tinny these guys sound. So a lot of people put a lot of insulation inside onto the tin. I don't particularly like that, because if it gets wet, if you've got a leak, moisture from inside the cab, etc., it's going to get underneath and rust the tin out. So I actually like to put the insulation, even though it's not perfect, I like to put it on the back of the door cards. It means that there's also a little tiny bit of an air gap, but that's okay. This car isn't in sub-zero temperatures anytime soon. So I'm going to be putting it on the back of the door card once we get them done from the ugly brown to something a little bit better. So what we're going to do to start with is we're going to clean up all the mold, etc. Bit of cleaner, and cut the insulation to, it's a sort of a sound deadening insulation. It's only foam. It's not tar based. It's only a 3mm foam, just to give it a little bit, to soften it down a bit. So we'll go to the outside and have a look and see how noisy it is, how tinny it sounds before, and then we'll stick it on and see how noisy it is afterwards. So we'll go to the outside and have a look. All right, so let's have a bit of a tap. Very tinny sounding. Alright, so we'll stick the insulation on and we'll see the difference in sound. I'll clean it up and we'll go from there. Alright, let's have a look at this stuff. So it's not very thick, 2mm, well, it's fairly long. I'll go in that pedal quite easily. See, twice as big as I thought it would be. So 2 or 3mm wide, just enough to take the sound deadening out. Now it's foam. Okay, yeah, I said before about the foam and how I don't like it, but I'm not going to put it right up to each of the corners. It's only going to go as far as the seams, not quite as far as that. So hopefully there's no rust, and as we can see after 30 odd years, it hasn't rusted much. So we'll give that a go. I'll stick it on, clean it up, stick it on, and see what we reckon. Alright, nice and shiny. First bit done. Put that back in there. Stretches a little bit. What's it going to sound like? Whoa, haven't stuck there yet, Mr. Hams. Alright, a couple of little bubbles here. We'll pop them. Or we might, and it doesn't really matter. The bubbles we were talking about before. Make sure it's all stuck properly. I've got a roller up there that actually pushes down on the sticky stuff as well. So we'll use that to make sure that all the everything's out of it and the sticky paper is on there properly. We'll go have a... So I think it's deadened it down quite a bit. We'll go out to the outside and have a look. Okay, we'll have a look and see if it made a difference. So, it's a little bit tinny. Not as good as your butyl rubber, but a lot less than what it was, so a little bit happy with that. It's not going to be as tinny. And of course, if we get our insulation on the back of our door cards and have a little bit of an air gap, we'll also won't hear as much on the inside. Alright, snap my fingers and have some really bad editing, and back inside. We're going to do the bottom bit now. Fold this over a little bit further so it's quite stuck down properly, but we can always fold it over the top. There's no great drama about that. Do the bottom bit, which is exactly the same as the top bit. Bore you with that. We'll come back and have a look once I'm finished. Alright, so the bottom bit's stuck. I don't know why this is a little bit different. I must have bought it at a different time, but exactly the same principle. So we got a little bit of scrap from the top bit at the end there. And we opened a new roll. Then I discovered right behind me there's another little bit of the other stuff, so it doesn't really matter. It's all reasonably stuck on. I'll get the roller out, roll it in there quite nicely, and that's one one panel done. Yeah, so we'll do that to the whole inside of the car, front doors, all the side bits, as much as we can around the sides. The hood lining is still in this guy, so as you know, that well, you might know, these have a fairly good insulation underneath them. It's fairly thick, so that's okay. It's going to stay in here for as long as we can. It's a bit mouldy here and there and a bit weird coloured, but we'll give it a bit of a spray with final paint, clean it up later on. I'm not too worried about the trim just a moment, and we'll get stuck into a bit more rust. There isn't that much more to go. A couple of little spots around windows, so I'll be taking this back window out. That one's got a spot underneath it. Yeah, most of it's a little bit on the front, not too much on the front. So once we take the rubbers out, I'll show you how to do that. We actually hopefully can save the rubbers. They're all really good because this car was shedded. They're not deteriorated in any way, shape or form. Oh yeah, that's my light there. The switch didn't work. Oh, very bright. So I've put a few LEDs up there just for the minute, just to see what it looks like in that spot. So yeah, so that'll do it for today. We'll catch you all on the flip side.